You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, we greatly appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning. I guess it's going to be a warm day, nice day. Hey, question for you, Jazz. Did the groundhog see a shadow?
To be honest, I don't know.
Is that like still a thing?
I feel like it is. It means there's only like 2 weeks left of
I never
winter.
knew what it meant. I just knew it was Groundhog Day and the groundhog either saw a shadow or it didn't. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we should be in tune to this, but I definitely did not pay attention. But I know it's like, I think it is like a serious dilemma that low key he's usually right on if he sees a shadow. Then there's only 2 weeks left of winter. 2 weeks. I feel like 2 weeks is kind of short though. Is it? Maybe longer than 2 weeks.
Nah, it's supposed to be like drop. It's 70 or something next couple of days and then drop again. We
came back from Vegas to summer, so I'm here for it.
Yeah. Real question though, like where do they find the groundhog? They just get him coming up.
Is it like a survival of the fittest? Like, do you have to audition for this? Do you have to have what are the conditions for the groundhog? Holler at us, let us know if you know what are requirements to be the groundhog.
So do they just stand there with a camera? It's like, all right, let's just go find this groundhog. If he come up out of the ground, kind of like, the little game at Chuck E. Cheese where you hit him with the hammer.
Well, then he's definitely not going to see straight. You got to keep him in good conditions. I want to know how they get him to come out right on time. Like, because, everybody's watching.
What is it, February 2nd or February 3rd?
Something like that. I don't know. We really should be more informed on this, but I want to know how they get him to come out. If anybody knows, like, what happens if they have that whole prop set up and it's like that day and he decides not to come out that day? Like, what if he's just chilling and
like, nah, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
Good one. What if there's no shadow? What if it's a cloudy day?
See y'all in June. I ain't ready yet. Oh man, how was your week?
It was good. I feel like, honestly, since I've been back, I'm like every day runs together. I don't even know what day it is, just bebopping around at this point. But it was really good. We had a fun event last night, so that was really exciting.
We did.
And I feel like it went by fast.
For the kids, Jazz got to host LSN their football banquet, and it was dope. Shout out to Coach Zoe, Alfonso Hodge, had us both hosting it. And it was real fun.
It was full circle moment, I feel like I've had a couple of those since we got back. I had the other Lee Summit School District event, then we had that one last night for Lee Summit, just back in the city.
Yeah,
but it was really fun. I enjoyed it.
Cool. We've got a lot to talk about today. Definitely going to dive into Antonio Pierce. He said he has some Jordan rules for Patrick Mahomes, and of course we'll dive into. Talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. The ratings have come out, and I guess it's the most watched show ever. Who would have thought? And we'll also talk some NBA All-Star Weekend. Some people are not happy. They said it was the worst game ever.
You were there, so
yeah. I fell asleep.
Not the right answer. Tomato.
All right, we'll dive into we'll talk some EA Sports college football. I know there's a lot of gamers who watch us. They're supposed to be playing players now. A whopping $600 to be on a game.
I'll take it.
Oh, okay. All that and more coming up in about 30 minutes. We'll have our Snickers of the week. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
been a while. We took a little bit of a hiatus after the Super Bowl, but it's our first show back from the Super Bowl. And over the last week, the viewership numbers have been released. And like Steven mentioned, it was the most watched telecast in history. I don't find this very surprising. What do you think?
So let me ask you this. Is it the effect of, I mean, everybody would say it's the effect of Taylor Swift. Do you feel like it's that?
I think that and a combination of things, though. Like, if you really looked at the game as a whole, of course, I mean, it's in Vegas. That was the number one mecca for partying and everything. So having it there, I feel like you're already going to attract a bigger crowd of just people playing in the casinos and things like that. And
I didn't think about
that. Yeah, I feel like they have to have it pushed there in Vegas, and that's already a tourist city. And then, yeah, definitely the Swift effect. How many people at the Super Bowl did we talk to, and they were like, yeah, my daughter's just watching for Taylor Swift. Yeah, like I feel like that was definitely an influence. And then the game in itself. I mean, there was the whole like get back situation.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of hype around that game too. Yeah. Can they run it back again?
How much is the Patrick Mahomes effect though? Like, because you get, of course, we talked about Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, but then Patrick Mahomes, who is like a worldwide, I guess you can say,
GOAT.
megastar. You can call him GOAT. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, he's like a worldwide megastar, and people just love him.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, he's marketable. And like you said, it's in Vegas. So I don't know how much of it is just the Chiefs and just because they're not the Cinderella story anymore.
Right.
They're the quote unquote villain. Yeah. So I don't even know. You can't say it's the Chiefs because I feel like last year you got, two black quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, then the Eagles, Andy Reid's former team. There's all those storylines that make people want to watch. And now it's just like, it's two teams, the rematch. All right, Patrick Mahomes. Okay, he's been here before. What else is there?
Right. Yeah, I do think a lot of it is just the Mahomes effect. And I think the storylines changed in the dynasty talk, them running it back. So I think it was more Chiefs oriented in itself versus the like fairy tale story of the two teams. You know what Like, does that make sense? I think it was more like the Chiefs against themselves, if anything. And can they run it back? They're at they're fourth in the past 5 years. Just like seeing that. And I think a lot of it was hate involved too, like almost wanting to see the Chiefs lose. Like
I can see that.
How many people are watching like, dang, again? Like, let's see if they drop it. Or I mean, honestly, we've seen a lot of like,
that's funny,
the Chiefs fumbling in clutch situations. How many people were sitting there watching like, all right, there's no way these wide receivers are going to pull it through. Like, let's see the drop of the day. Like, so I can see that too. To play into the villain role side of it. I think even though it's like the villain, it's still the haters that, where it's like, you're still watching my page, so you got to be a fan,
So you saying that the haters just gonna watch and they filling up the viewership.
Yep. A hater's gonna be a hater all their life, but you're still watching, so you're still a fan.
Okay, I can agree with that.
I feel like I'm so much playing into the villain role, but I'll embrace it. I'll take it.
Okay.
I think it's funny too because I don't know if you've seen like the Twitter memes and stuff where it's like you can tell the moms that raise their daughters as like she's just jealous, and I think that's where it's like they're starting to adopt that attitude, and I like to like fully embrace going into that, like, oh yeah, you guys are just talking about me because you're jealous.
I like that. I like that scenario. And I also, on top of that, you get just Patrick Mahomes and the stories that you have his wife, you have Jackson Mahomes, you have
his dad leading into it. Yeah.
All of that adds into, all right, let's just watch this dude.
Yep.
Is he going to choke? Is it going to be a rematch of what happened in Tampa Bay? Let's just watch him we're watching for failure, like you said.
I can totally see it.
Okay.
Keep on watching, baby. Now, according to Brad Boykin of CBS Sports, the NBA's All-Star Game has become unwatchable, and it also might be unfixable. I feel like this has been a hot take for a couple years now of how they can make it exciting and what they can do different. You were there to see the week and everything building up to it. Talk a little bit about it.
I told you, I was literally dozing in the middle of the All-Star Game. Like, so got there didn't go up on Friday to see the rookie game, celebrity game, because of the weather. So got there on Saturday, got to see the dunk contest, 3-point contest. And the highlight of that whole thing was Steph Curry and what was it, Sabrina Ionescu?
Yep.
Yeah. So that was like my highlight of watching it.
I think it was a lot of people's, honestly.
Yeah. And that whole thing was the build up for that, and then watching her compete against arguably the game's greatest shooter ever, and she almost won.
Crazy.
Like Steph had to turn it on at the end, like for real. So just that whole day, you get Steph and Sabrina. I think that was a highlight of Saturday. And supposedly in the past, it's supposed to be the dunk contest. Like you got the skills competition, you got the 3-point contest, and then you got the highlight, which is the dunk contest. Yeah. Dunk contest was a failure to me.
What made it a failure?
You get Boston Celtics guard Jaylen Brown, who's 6'5". Like he's not short, but he's going up against 6'7", 6'8", and just the dunks that he tried to do, and they were giving him close to 48, 49, and the crowd was booing like, "What are y'all doing?" There's no hype. There's no, you got to have some theatrics. Like if you go back to watch, throwing Vince Carter, putting his arm in the rim. He's doing all these theatrics. Now you're getting guys that are trying to recreate what guys have already done.
Okay.
Like, fair. I get it, but just come up with something new. You got 364 days to figure it out. Oh, I can do this dunk. And if I've seen some people on social media that's like, all right, well, how can we figure this out? How can we, make the dunk contest better? Well, I think you get some Joe Schmoes off the street who can come up with some dunks and go against these NBA guys.
So the regular is going against NBA guys versus NBA.
And you had to bring in a G League dude who's not in the NBA. He's in the G League, which is developmental league, to come and win the dunk contest to save the day. 2 years straight.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think the dunks that Mac McClung did they were pretty dope, but they've got to fix it. And the only way I think, because there's some professional like dunkers out there, because you see them, they're on social media and Instagram, all that. So I think you go get those guys. You're like, all right, we'll give you $1,000 plus a plane ticket, first class, all that to come in and show what you can do and go up against some NBA guys.
Yeah. Do you think that would be counterproductive in that building the viewership and the people actually watching, like bringing in a big name or a famous person that's not necessarily an athlete would still bring more viewership at least? So instead of bringing like just a person off the streets, what if they did like a person who is a movie star or something like that? At least if they have to get the views up, at least.
Like you can act, but can you dunk?
That would be the fun of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you had, I don't know, Nick Jonas or somebody like that. That's like a young.
Who's Nick Jonas?
Nickelodeon here. He was in Nickelodeon.
Is that like the Jonas Brothers thing?
Jonas Brothers, yeah.
Oh,
like
okay.
if you bring somebody that's like that, who you're obviously not expecting, you're not expecting to be able to hoop. Right. Like, let's see how this goes down, and then you're bringing in kind of like the Swift effect. You're engaging the kids. You're engaging stuff like that. Where it's like, whoa,
yeah,
never thought Nick Jonas could dunk. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I think that would be different compared to at least a regular Joe Schmo.
Got Jamie Foxx out there running around trying to dunk.
See, you're gonna watch, right? You're tapping in.
I would.
I
would.
Like at least engage to the viewers if you can't actually get something that's gonna be like entertaining basketball wise. Is my thing.
DJ Khaled, can you shoot threes? We the best,
right? Another one.
Yeah, right.
So
I agree. Yeah, just they've got to do something, because then you get Sunday, which is the game, and I feel like the All-Star week, it's not the same as it used to be. Like the last All-Star week I went was Las Vegas. This was 2006, and the buildup was there. But then you had guys that actually wanted to compete against each other. I mean, you had the Kobe Bryants, the Allen Iversons, all those guys wanted to like go at each other's necks because they knew it was a world stage, and it was just show off. You get to bring your kicks, you get to wear different uniforms, play with guys that aren't on your team. All that stuff was the hype about it. Now it's just like, what they shoot 160 something threes?
Crazy.
Yeah, it's. I watched Luka run up and down the floor, and I'm like, dude, just go have a seat, because he wasn't doing anything, and it was a bunch of guys that just weren't competing. Yeah, and I get it. They get there on Wednesday, or they get there on Thursday. Have all these different obligations, whether it's the different sponsor events that they go through during the day, and then they're all out partying at night.
Yep.
And then the league has different obligations that they do with the community. So by the time you get to Sunday, it's like, man,
tired.
Yeah, we chilling. we've been here doing this all for the last 5 days, and now it's like, all right, where'd my break go? Because this is supposed to be a break from the regular season to finish out the rest of the season.
Right.
So yeah, they got to figure it out, and hopefully they do.
On the other side, I know you had mentioned the media and the behind the scenes of what goes into All-Star Week and how they are trying to make it cool versus other sports we see. Talk about that.
Yeah, so you got all these social media stars, what have you, that get a lot of viewership from, whether it's TikTok or Instagram, and they're building their brand around these people. You've got the guys who do like the basketball content, whether it's making fun of the NBA players or whether it's, commentating over a game or just whatever they want to do. And they get a lot of viewership. I'm talking to millions of viewers that watch it. And on the flip side of that, it's bringing more viewership to the NBA. So all of these different brands bring in these, influencers or what have you, and they treat them like royalty.
Right.
Like, so there was a Google Pixel event that we went to that, had all these influencers there, and it just showed off the new phone, the Google Pixel phone, where you can erase, let's just say you have an object in your photo that you want to erase, you can take out your Google Pixel pen and just erase it.
I like that.
And while keeping everything else intact. So if you're newly single and you want to erase that old boo that you had, go get that Google Pixel phone and erase him on up out of there.
Toxic. That was not where we were going. I'm thinking more of like, a photo bomber or a plant in the back. Of course, you're gonna think of an X dilemma. Like, okay, now we got to draw the line here.
Yeah, no. So there was also some other the virtual reality goggles. So they had a whole suite for influencers at the game. I'm talking 200, 300 plus, influencers that they brought in to hang out, eat food, and watch the game and create content behind it with the goggles.
Dope.
So, I mean, it's just things like that there. I think the NBA is definitely forward thinkers. Just the way that they change up things throughout the season. I mean, you get the play-in tournament. They switched up the All-Star game from, where they had the two captains and they were going to select their own team. So now it's back to the original format. But I think the NBA is definitely, they'll tweak some stuff. If it's not working, I think they will, when you look at like the NBA, the NFL and MLB, they're steadfast, right? The NBA will just, switch it up if it ain't working.
Right. I see it. And honestly, yeah, I think they've been doing it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I've always watched the 3-point contest or the dunk contest. That was always the number one thing. So I think I get their struggle of like it being hard to make it and spin it cool, but I think they'll figure something out for sure.
They have to. Viewership is on the line.
Facts. Still on NBA, Scottie Pippen and the more ex-Bulls start No Bull tour to talk Michael Jordan Last Dance. This was a saga. Did you watch The Last Dance on Netflix, first of all?
Yeah.
How did people not watch it, actually?
True. The GOAT.
But yeah, your thoughts on this one?
I think, well, first of all, when people need money because they go through extreme circumstances to get it. Right, like and of course, I think Scottie Pippen has some part ownership in the Australian league, so that's why they're filming this over there. But he's brought in Luke Longley and Horace Grant, two guys that I guess are unhappy as well. Just like Scottie Pippen, they're unhappy with some of the stuff how they were portrayed in the Netflix documentary. Okay. So if I'm unhappy about how I was portrayed, I'm not going to go on a tour unless I want to get paid. Like, I'll just pull up because stuff is instant now. Right. So I would just pull up my phone and say, hey, this is what really happened.
Yeah.
Compared to I'm flying all the way over to Australia to get my point across. Nah, I want it. And it's cool. I guess if you want to get paid, make some money off of it.
Yeah.
But then you get, there's different, I think Scottie Pippen has different motives, right? Like you get his ex-wife dating Michael Jordan's son. You get just the stuff that Michael Jordan said in the doc. And then there's some other stuff. He may just be unhappy.
Right. That's what it's giving for me. I feel like there's a lot of theatrics involved in it too. Like there's also, I mean, yes, a lot of it, the light was shed when they made the documentary. So we don't know how long all of this was brewing for.
Right.
But why did you not express all of these emotions as ever, you know, when you're, I get it. When you're winning and everything's good, it's good. When money's coming in, it's good.
Yep.
But like you said, I think it's giving the money's running dry. And now I got to stir the pot. I got to make something shake. I got to say something. And that's what I like. Makes me question it. I mean, I still like it because it's giving real, like it's giving, like they're having their own opinions. This stuff really does happen behind closed doors, even in a successful organization. But it's just a whole lot of like Real Housewives vibes. Like you said, there's the dating involved. There's all that. Like what's the real tea? Yeah.
And look, this thing happened. The Last Dance is what, 2020?
Right.
This is 2024. That's 4 years ago, bro. Like you've been holding on, like it's eating away. It got to be eating away at him.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, I got to get my word out. I got
Instagram, Twitter, Instagram Live.
Everything on your phone is instant. It's instant. So yeah, I think he's just trying to get a bag.
Yeah. And creating a whole show behind it, like you said. These dudes, you have each other's phone numbers and stuff. You could have easily just sent a text and been like, hey, bro, this is what it is. This is what it ain't.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you bring two other people that gotta have your back. Like, hey, I ain't the only one that believes this, so I'm gonna bring Horace Grant and Luke Longley along with me. Hey guys, y'all believe it too? Cool, let's just go on tour. Yeah, and it's called No Bull Tour. All right, man.
All right, you got it. NCAA players can opt into EA Sports College Football 25 and get paid for the first time.
You opting in?
I'll take it, honestly. I mean, most of these guys are playing these games anyways.
Right.
So, and I know it's like a hot take, but they get so involved in their ratings and it really is a big deal on what you're rating and NFL ratings, all that type of stuff. Yeah. Go ahead and get a bag while you're at it.
$600.
Not a big bag, but I'll take it.
What's $600? I think I agree with it at first. And y'all were like, nah, $600 just ain't enough. But $600. Now that I'm thinking about it, $600. So there's 11,000 college football players who supposedly are supposed to be in the game. $600. How much? This game is what? How much is NCAA college football? $60? Or just call it 70. So 70, you getting the math ain't mathing.
It's not.
They're gonna make
compared to
a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the game, this is NCAA college football 25. They haven't had an NCAA football game since 2013. So people that loved that game are going to go out and buy it, not like the normal gamer.
Right.
So they're going to get influx of people that are going to just go buy it just because. So that's going to be even more money. Yeah, they've got to band together and say, hey, man, $600, that ain't enough. What would be a good rate to be in a game?
I would say 15.
1,500?
Yeah.
Okay. That's about, what, $150 a month, $160 a month?
Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, we're also talking college football, college kids. So I feel like 600 to a college kid versus 600 to anybody else is a little bit different, Like
I don't know though. 600
NIL deals though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like that's chump change compared to some of these NIL deals too. So
that's $6.6 million that they have to shell out if they're giving out all 11,000 college football guys $600. So I'm just thinking 70. You buying the game $70. Man, they raking money. They making money hand over fist
easily. You're not taking the deal?
I ain't taking. Well, if everybody's taking it, I ain't gonna just be left out. You got to give me my $600.
So if everybody else jumps off a bridge, are you jumping?
If I got a parachute. No, but I think too, and you can. So the deal is you can opt in to for a yearly. I guess it's a yearly check. So as long as you're on a college football program, even if you, because of course there's a transfer portal, so even if you transfer to another school, you'll still be eligible for your $600.
I feel like they're gonna get a lot of traction. A lot of players are gonna do it.
I mean, you got those bottom. Not everybody's getting a bag with the NIL deal, so
Right.
you're going to get the last man on the totem pole, last man on the roster. That's like, man, give me my 600.
Right. That's
Is it one lump sum?
I don't know.
Because if it's one lump sum, that's going to be gone in a weekend.
True.
Lawrence
True.
football players going to be down there, brothers like, hey, ring me up.
Literally, especially compared to all their other deals like that. Let's chump change. That's like, might as well.
Yeah.
That's like 2 pairs of shoes. All right. And on about their business. I'd do it though, honestly. Now, LSU star Angel Reese's Bayou Barbie trademark application denied. Yikes.
Interesting. Just reading it, whoever her representative is told her like, hey, we're not gonna poke the bear, because of course Barbie, Mattel owns Barbie, and you're trying to get Bayou Barbie. You're not gonna be able to get it. That's why they told her no, because Mattel owns Barbie, and he said we're not gonna poke the bear. We're not gonna go at Mattel. That's a hill we don't want to climb.
Right.
We're discontinuing the merch, all that.
Yikes.
So yeah, I think she thought she was gonna get it. It sounds cool.
Confidence is key.
Yeah, I wonder, could she call it something else though? Like, I know there's Barbie, but like, what other way could you call yourself a Barbie without calling yourself a Barbie?
And of course, the Barbie, it's the 2 B's going with it. So I don't know what other. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But it wasn't surprising that she didn't get it. But I almost feel like, because now she discontinued her merch and everything else. I think I would have just rode the wave without all that.
Just let them come at you.
True. I mean,
just let them come at
then
you.
Then you're gonna lose it all anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's hard, because I think she did have a lot of traction behind it, and I think she definitely built her own personal brand off that. So I don't know how you transition from that.
I think she better get an NIL deal from Mattel. I would have been sending them a letter like, hey, I know we didn't get off to the right start. I know I didn't ask you guys, could I use the name Barbie? But here, I'm able to help you sell Barbie. If you guys come up with a Barbie basketball LSU player, that would be fire.
Go crazy. Yeah. Maybe she should transition to Bratz. Bratz and Barbie, maybe
Bayou Brat.
Yeah, maybe they'll do something if they're paying. I'll transition.
All right. Bayou
Go to the op.
Brat.
Go to the op. That's my next advice. Maybe that's why I'm not her agent. But we'll see.
Brat. All right, we like it. Angel Reese, holla at us. We got an
idea. I got an idea for you. And I want my trademark and everything for my stuff.
Okay.
University of Iowa star Caitlin Clark breaks Fanatics NIL record after setting an all-time scoring record. She's the top-selling college athlete in NIL era. Sheesh. Not surprising.
Let me ask you this before we get into the NIL thing. Is she the greatest college women's basketball player ever?
We had this discussion.
I mean, but now she's broken the record, so I'm going to bring it back up.
I'm not going to say greatest ever. Okay. And I all respects, she has the records. She has the numbers. The only thing that I would play devil's advocate to is if she was at a different program, LSU, USC, a different, not necessarily bigger because she's still at a solid program.
UConn, yes.
If she was at one of those schools, would she stand out the same? Because of course, where she's at, she's the all-star. She is their program, right?
Yeah.
Go play alongside an Angel Reese or somebody who's just as in the light and everything. Okay. Does she stand out as much? I don't think so. And that's the only thing that would make me say not the greatest ever. You would have to completely clear the air that if I drop you in any program, you're the standout to make that.
I mean, I think she could be just the way that she plays. I mean, and because I mean, you get these girls right now that are in, and I'm just thinking of just the top players in college. You think about Juju, who's at USC. You think about Angel Reese, and then Caitlin Clark, and there's some others that I may be missing, but I mean, they're the stars of their teams, no matter where they are. Because
Right.
I mean, you could take Angel Reese and put her on Texas, and she'd still be Angel Reese.
Exactly.
So I think you could take Caitlin Clark and put her with what was it, Gino Auriemma with UConn, and she's still like hoop, because the hoop don't change,
Right.
no matter what school you're with. I think you're still going to be the same player. It's, I think, the notoriety, behind it. But I feel like she's still going to go out. She's still going out and scoring 40. She's going to go score 40 no matter what, because she's doing it against all those teams.
Fair.
And their players. Because I remember she played against Angel Reese.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think it is what it is.
You
Now,
think she's the best ever?
Nah, I can't say she's the best ever. I mean, of course, you're only good as your last game. So she's the person that we see right now. But I mean, there's some other girls right now that are hooping just as well as her.
Yeah.
But she's done it for a little while. And at a program like Iowa.
Right.
But nah, I would have to say
there's still Skylar Diggins. There's Brittany Griner.
Diana Taurasi. I think Diana Taurasi is probably the greatest college women's basketball player ever.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
I mean, she did it for so long at UConn, like a story program.
Right.
That's
why I say that's the part, the story program that I can't give that to her. Then.
That's true. All right.
I don't know.
But she got some money with the NIL deals though, like, because I think it was who's son, Dion's son, Shadur.
Yep.
Had the top. So yeah.
Well, she's definitely chugging through, making all the records, all the NIL deals too. I mean, I think I don't want to completely count her out of the race. I don't want to completely say that it's not possible, but I think she has a couple more.
She's got to win a national title.
Yeah.
To be in the argument, she has to win a national title.
Facts. I agree. Tiger Woods' son Charlie falls short in PGA Tour pre-qualifier. You're the golfer. Hot take.
It's tough for him, and I watched like his body language, as things weren't going right in the match, and he's trying to live in his dad's shoes, and that's tough. Like, one of the greatest golfers ever is your dad, so people are going to expect you, even though no matter what age you are, you're supposed to come out of the womb
swinging.
Exactly, being a top golfer, which that's unrealistic. But you can just tell. It just seems like he wasn't playing free at all. He was just, and of course he's trying to get on a PGA Tour.
Right.
Like, that's just what he's trying to do. And he started out okay, but the guy that he was paired with is another former golfer's son. And he shot a 2 over, he shot a 72, which is pretty good. So he's probably going to make, the cut. I think it's top 5 that they split like a $9 million purse or $9 million winnings.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I think he's just trying to live in his dad's. No matter if he's trying to do it or not, he's still going to have that shadow of his dad over him, especially since his dad is still golfing.
Right.
But could you imagine that, like having your son on tour with you?
It's insane. But the pressure that is on the son, like, I couldn't imagine being like, in one breath, it's dope and it's like a storybook type thing, but the pressure would eat me alive. Like, actually going up against him or under the shadows in itself, like, I couldn't imagine that part.
And there's a report that he's getting heckled, like, by the fans that are watching. Just like, they got to stop, man. Let this dude, because I can't remember how old he is, but I think he's 16, 17. Yeah, y'all got to stop. Just let him do him.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of outside noise. I couldn't imagine. Yep. And in golf, it's supposed to be a quiet sport anyways, right? Like, they're not supposed to be cheering and heckling and everything. Yeah. So that's a lot to process. Yeah. For sure.
Depending on what golf course you go to.
Hey, I'll start cheering. I'll be at whichever one you can cheer at. Yep. That'll be my pace. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Keep it locked in. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City!
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com, exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors: classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it. Message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Get back to me about the groundhog. I want to know. I want to know the groundhog details. Holler at us.
Yeah, look.
I'm still thinking on it.
Because I think there used to be like a news, as a kid, there used to be like a news special.
Yeah.
That showed the ground, like, where did they get, was it the zoo? Because I never knew. Now that I'm really thinking about it, yeah.
But they definitely used to show it like on the projectors at school that day. Like
really?
It was, yes, like not that it was like, it was definitely like a teaching point.
You
like,
went to that good school then. My school ain't care about no ground.
It was definitely background noise during writing time or whatever. But yeah, for sure. Eric Hosmer, and former All-Star first baseman and World Series champion with the Royals in 2015, has decided to retire. A GOAT.
Shout out to Haas.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Look, he was definitely an instrumental piece in the 2014, 2015, or actually 2013, 14, 15 runs of the Royals. And in the 2015 World Series. Like, first baseman, I think he won a gold glove, a couple of gold gloves, could hit the skin off the baseball. I mean, to me, and this is no disrespect to anybody else, he was one of the best Royals ever. Mm-hmm. And it was just that group. It was a nucleus of guys. You had Lorenzo Cain, you had Salvador Perez, Jared Dyson, Alcides Escobar. All those guys were just that young group that kind of grew up together and were molded together. Mike Moustakas, all those guys. And Eric Hosmer was a key piece to that nucleus and made it work.
Definitely.
And he talked about just life after baseball too.
Crazy. And I really never dove that much into baseball, to be honest. Of course, everybody was a part of the World Series run. And I feel like during that time, you saw so many Hosmer jerseys. The kids seemed like that was the player that they liked most. I feel like here in Kansas City, especially with the Royals, it's Hosmer. That's a household name that you know around baseball. And so it's going to be very odd him not playing as much.
And if I could compare Chiefs players to he would be basically, he's the Travis Kelce of the Royals.
Yeah.
I mean, you had kids, you talk about kids wanted DeJuan, friend of the show, to cut their hair. They wanted the Haas.
Yep.
They wanted the mohawk with the zigzag on the side. That's just what they was like, hey, let me get the Haas. And that was a thing on ESPN. Kids wanted to get that. So just kind of, they made baseball fun.
Yeah.
Because I mean, sometimes baseball, you get the 180 games or 160 games, and it's just we don't want to watch that many games, but they made baseball fun.
Facts, for sure. And I think my parents and I have had this conversation a lot lately about, oh, you're so spoiled. You've seen you've seen the Super Bowls, you saw the World Series. And I'm like, when we hit this topic, I'm like, dang, I forgot we did. I saw World Series too, like that. Like, it's just so crazy being in this time frame, and like these household names that we're gonna remember forever. Like you said, the Travis Kelce's, the Pachecos. That it's like, wow, these are names that you're gonna associate with that era that kids like truly will look up and look up to and say later on, like, yeah, I remember being at the parade and so high-fived me. Like, it's really wild that we're living in this time frame. And my parents are like, you're so spoiled. Like, we did not see all this. And then you kids have gotten to see everything during this past couple years.
I can remember, like, the playoff runs of trying to get to the playoffs for the Chiefs, and they just didn't quite get over that hump. They had a good team, like offensive teams, and you had the good defensive teams. They just couldn't get over the hump. And then they would always get the washed up guys, the guys that were on their way out. Like, you would get the Joe Montana, but Marcus out, but they was always on their way out.
Yeah.
And then you get the Royals. They were always bad. Like, I never knew. I remember the '85 World Series, but like this team was just bad.
Yeah.
You get the $2 tickets. I remember being able to go out to the way to get fans out to the stadium was the fireworks and the hot dogs. The dollar hot dogs is just it.
Yeah.
But then you get the run of, and I would say like the past 11, 12 years for sports in Kansas City has been hot. Like, it started off with MLS Cup.
Yep.
And Sporting Kansas City winning that in 2013.
Then the women's national team coming through for women's sports.
Yep. And then the Royals getting to the World Series, and then getting to the wild card game and losing, and going back to the World Series, and actually winning. Right. So, and then the Chiefs, they're having their run. So
it's crazy.
Every town has their time. You know how the saying, every dog has their day?
Yeah.
It's every town has their time.
Facts. And it's crazy that we can forget that we won a World Series wrapped up in all this. I had a brain fart. Anyways. NCAA banning schools from decorating hotel rooms on official visits.
That's whack. Lame. Tomato.
Out of all the things that you're worried about at this point, like, especially with NIL deals, like, there's so much influence anyways. You really think that you leaving your logo? Right. Like, what's the red flag in that? I'm confused.
And the weird thing, I was reading this, and the weird thing is, so they stopped, you know how you used to get the high school recruits. Let's just say you get a recruit that's going to LSU, and you get him to take a picture in the uniform. You put cool backdrop, cool, like, smoked out visor, all that. They can't do that anymore. They took that away, and then they took away the decorating of, because they wouldn't do it, go overboard. They would just put some cookies and snacks in their hotel room. Yeah. So now the rule is you have to bring everything to the lobby of the hotel and hand it to them.
And what difference does that make either? Like,
no difference.
Is it just too much influence? Like, I'm confused on what's the.
I think the NCAA still wants to have some type of control.
Okay.
That's all the control that they just want to have control, because you think about you get the NIL deals, then you get these kids. It's like, oh, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have a cool, like, take a picture in front of a Bugatti. Because schools do that. They'll pull up a Bugatti outside of the hotel. It's like, all right, let's take a photo in front of it.
Right.
Get you to sign a letter of intent.
See, and I don't see, like, at the end of the day, it's not going to be the cookie setting on the hotel room bed that make you decide what school you're going to.
Might be, depending on what kind of are.
So they're oatmeal raisin, you're going for sure.
Fire, yes.
I already know. But yeah, I mean, I think they're just, like you said, it's a power trip thing. They're trying to take the fun out of it. And if anything, you should feed into that. I think I would lean into it more. That's more pub for the schools, it's pub for the local businesses, whoever makes the cookies or cakes that are involved, like what I don't see what's so detrimental about it. But
yeah, I mean, it's just, they just want control. They're just trying to figure something out. They're getting paid now, so we gotta let's tighten it up, Bob. Let's make sure that these kids can't do anything in a hotel. Yeah, let's take that away. That doesn't make sense.
More power to him.
Yeah.
See what I did there? Raiders new head coach Antonio Pierce says team will have Mahomes rules and channel inner Pistons. Let's hear from Coach Antonio Pierce first.
You got the Jordan rules, and I'm calling now from now on, as long as I'm here, the Patrick Mahomes rules. So you remember when Jordan was going through it with the Pistons, all those guys in the 80s before he came, Michael Jordan, Air Jordan, the Pistons used to whoop his. Anytime he came to the hole, elbows, filling them, love taps. We touched them. We in the head, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I'm touching you. So I show those guys Jordan getting his whooped.
I like it. I like Antonio Pierce. Like I said this, just watching him on the pivot, and he's doing his little media rounds now. I just like his whole like aura. He's street, but he ain't. like he gives like I'm a player's coach. I'm an ex-player. I know what you got, the grind that you guys went through, and he wasn't a scrub. Like he actually played the game. And he knows how to relate to guys. I feel like. Look, I've been saying this for the past few years, even though it hasn't panned out. The Raiders are up and coming. You get new stadium. You're in Las Vegas. All you need is a quarterback and a coach. And you're going to be – I'm not saying they're going to go out here and beat the Chiefs year in and year out, but they're going to compete for the AFC title.
Sure.
I mean, AFC West championship, I think – or AFC West title, sorry. Just because you get a coach that these guys want to play for. You get Max Crosby on the defensive side. He's going to control things over there. And then – all you need is a quarterback. Yeah. You already got Devontae Adams at the wide receiver position. So, look, they're coming. And then you think about how the Pistons played Michael Jordan back in the day. That they roughed him up. That was just the Jordan rules. We got to make sure we get him on the ground.
Yep.
Make him feel us. And I feel like the NFL is not going to be happy. That's not. It's only going to go so far.
Right.
And then you get Max Crosby because he'd be the main one, but they're friends.
Yeah.
So it's only going to go so far. Now, granted, I know they always say, "Oh, we'll whatever student line. We're not friends where we're inside the lines."
Right.
But the face of the NFL, now that you've put it out there, they're not going to allow that.
Facts. But I do think, like you said, I think it's the sexy team. I think, like you said, it's in Vegas, new stadium. People want to be there, be around it. So I see it. And the coach is relatable. Like, I think we all can agree, like we like watching, like you said, a coach that players like to play for, they have fun with. And like even something like this, he's not being so PC. Like a lot of coaches wouldn't come out and just straight out say this. Like, this is how we're going to go about it. Everybody's thinking it. I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. So I think like that I can respect, and like, okay, at least he's real. Game recognizes game, and he's like, this is what it is, this is what it ain't. Like, and so I respect it. I see why the players enjoy being around him. Like, I don't know if I could see them coming out and being that much on top next year. I think they still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, they beat them already Christmas Day.
True. On the come up.
So they got the formula.
I would have thought we would have forgot about that one. We weren't going to bring that up, but okay. Fair enough.
I mean, that woke the Chiefs up because they knew it's like, all right, we lost to the Raiders on Christmas Day. Nah, that was like rock bottom.
That was
for this past season.
It was a sad day.
Yeah.
It was a sad Christmas day for sure. For sure. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll dive into our Hate or Love It segment. Keep it locked in. This is W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com, exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasoning to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors. Classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. First, we got a shout out. It has been confirmed by Miss Palmer, my mother, that the groundhog did not see his shadow early spring.
Oh.
So thank you to her reports.
So if the groundhog does see a shadow, then
longer winter.
Oh, okay.
So
has that been proven? I guess it has. If you know,
I mean, it's got enough traction.
Yeah, okay.
he must know a little something. On the other end, Guinness World Records revokes the title for the oldest dog ever. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'm just reading that. It's just kind of crazy.
Bobby the dog, who was reportedly 31 when he died in October, his status has been revoked. 31 years old as a dog? That's wild.
He's like 1,000 years old, bro.
Like what are they feeding that dog? Like, dude, he was thick as nails.
So they revoked after he passed away. They revoked his.
That's sad. That's respect.
It is.
Like,
and just reading it, it was like the doctors, they performed all these tests on him, and the doctor's like, "Nah, this dog ain't 31 or was not 31."
Oh.
And so we're just gonna revoke whatever. So I don't know who the oldest. Who has the oldest dog?
I don't know.
If y'all know, send it to us.
Right, that'll be our next one. Next talk about it. But so how did they get away with it for this far? How did they sell that he was 31?
I can call him like, hey, my dog Kobe's 31 too.
Right, I was about to say I got a pit bull at home. He's 32.
I guess they did like his chip or something. Something with his chip was not adding up to be correct, and they said we don't have enough information to confirm that he's 31 years old. It's like, okay.
I mean, you could have just let it ride this far. He's already gone. Poor guy.
Right.
Just let it ride. But it is what it is. Let's get into our Hate It or Love It segment.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off our sneakers of the week, we have the Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG Black and Whites.
Fire. Yeah,
classic. Yeah, those are. I don't know though. It's a lot of black.
They try to make them like the pandas.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not really here for them, honestly. My favorite's probably this week that Nike SB Dunk Low Pro Court Purples.
Yeah, those are fire.
I'm digging them. I'm definitely liking those. The Clot Adidas Superstars.
These are my faves. They give you like the sneaker dress shoe type vibe.
I was about to say, what's the bottom? Like it's kind of like a thick platform bottom.
Yeah, fire.
Okay.
Fire.
It's kind of giving golf shoe or something, like some type of cleat though. I don't know.
Yeah, Chiefs go back to the White House this year. These might be my sneakers.
You can't give it out. You can't give it out.
I'm just throwing it out there. It might be. I said it might.
Okay. Puma MB.03 Blue Hives.
Mellow balls. Yeah, I like these. They've been coming with some fire colorways on these.
Hard pass. Those are horrible. No, thank you. Those look like elementary school shoes. Brittany Griner's number 42 jersey retired by Baylor in her first game on campus since she played. Love it.
Oh, I love it.
I like the full circle moment too for her first game on campus. That's pretty dope.
So can anybody wear 42 now? If it's retired?
It's retired, no. Right?
Oh.
At Baylor, yeah.
All right. Cool.
I feel like that's fair. Yeah. NBA icon Allen Iverson says Mavericks Kyrie Irving has best handles ever.
Ooh. There's been some other guys in the league, like just from New York. Like you look at Rayford Austin, he had some handles. Most people don't really even remember him, but Kyrie got some handles. I think Steph's up there too, and Chris Paul. True. People don't remember Chris Paul had handles too, or still has handles. But yeah, but Kyrie's cold.
You disagree on this one then?
Iverson had handles too, so like I think he's just being modest.
Fair. Maybe that was just he's biased.
Yeah.
Bias.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears QB Justin Fields unfollowed the Bears on Instagram. Hate it or love it.
That's toxic.
Very. And then for him to come out and say, like, you don't like that's not serious enough. So, like you can still be messing with the chick if you don't follow her. That's crazy.
We know where his mind is.
Nobody's safe at that point. Like, I mean, I respect the honesty. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, he did elaborate and say he was just so sick of seeing like what he's the trades and all that type of stuff. He's tired of seeing it. I can get that. But you could have muted it. You didn't have to completely unfollow the person. You know what I'm saying? Like that was kind of petty. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And nobody's safe apparently. Former Saints tight end Jimmy Graham to row across Arctic Ocean in July 2025. Hate it or love it.
Oh, hate it. Ain't nobody checking for him rowing across the ocean. Nobody cares, Jimmy Graham. You retired, man. Go do retired stuff. This ain't what you do as a retired football player. Like, go golf. Like, for real.
Arctic Ocean, man.
Nah, I'm good. Good on that. Hey, we appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show. Remember, you can catch a rewind of our show on Mondays, 100.1 FM. Until next week, we are out of here.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.